Hi there, Rabbi. How are you doing this week?
I have the same feelings reflected in everyone as we watch events unfold. Unfortunately, the events in the Middle East are eclipsing the events in Ukraine, where things are better or different, but still, this idea of them against us, of superpowers or big powers thinking that they can use surrogates or can take advantage. It's just, I think everyone has that same feeling. What's going to happen? Where are we going with this, Joe?
Those people are facing reality every day that's more horrible than anything we can imagine, or if you've experienced it before, something that you never want to revisit. So, what do we do when we say, "Oh, I feel bad"? Does that help? Where do we go from here?
I do have a place for us to go from here. Obviously, many of us will find hope and comfort in our religions, denominations, faith communities, reading sacred documents. That certainly is a source for many of us. I have another suggestion. Dividing everything into black and white leads to disaster. Splitting everything into them and us leads to disaster. We need to act locally, think globally, but let's not get defocused by the global events. Let's start looking locally. We have to stop them and us. I'm watching the protests in DC, the protests in New York, where one group is supporting, one group's against, the other group supporting that group against, and you have two groups pitted against each other. There will be no solution. It's never been a good outcome. When the world is divided up into them and us, we're good, they're bad. I really get disturbed and upset when I hear well, look at what they did, therefore we're going to do it back to them, or they started it, or they're all wrong. Let's sit down and look at positions. Okay, I don't particularly like the present president. Former President Trump had some good ideas. Okay, who else has those ideas? Because neither of those people are suitable to be president. So why do I have to pick somebody unsuitable? Why am I latching on? If we look at Hamas in their charter, I read it online. It calls for the killing, annihilation of Jews. That's what it says. We're going to kill all Jews. We're going to destroy Israel. That's the basic premise of Hamas. We don't support the KKK.
Yeah, but we can't influence the events in Palestine from where we're sitting.
Correct.
We can't tell Palestinians. Again, a lot of this is hereditary information and learning passed down from father to son, from mother to daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Although I tend to believe women have more sense. Where do we go? You and I look at one another and say, we're reasonable people. We have reasonable thoughts. We're open to discussion. But who are we going to talk to that's going to listen or even make a difference?
Shut off the news. Not completely, but cut back. It's overwhelming, and we're brainwashing ourselves and we're torturing ourselves. These events are going on. Okay. But what is happening in my neighborhood? What's happening in my own life? What about my own family? Who's sick? Who's having a birthday party? And maybe I want to visit someone. We need to turn our focus on our world, and if it's at all possible, to get together with other people of different religions, different denominations. Again, I'll go back to my theme. It's unfortunate that I can get more power, control, and followers by hate than I can by promoting goodness or equality, or saying both sides are wrong, both sides are right. Pope Francis is under attack by Orthodox,
Everybody.
everybody, Orthodox Roman Catholics within the church itself. He's the Pope, the Holy Father. And he's offering peace and hope. Yet within the Roman Catholic Church, there are those sowing discord. There are those that want to tear the church down, and they're getting a following. So I think part of it is when you go to church, when you're somewhere, you can have some conversations with people. Maybe instead of arguing the points, we can look at the fact that we're destroying the very institutions we love. I believe in a Palestinian state. And you've heard me say this before, but you cannot have one country whose sole purpose for existing is to destroy the other country. Imagine if in the Constitution of Canada, the Constitution of Mexico, it said our existence depends on destroying the United States of America. We wouldn't have the cooperation. Look at the great things that are going on between Israel and Egypt, because each one recognizes the other's right to exist. And I think that's something we can do locally. We can acknowledge that basing my position on destroying you will destroy both of us.
So maybe what we need to do is look at ourselves, because as the only person we theoretically can control, and say, I am not going to be an absolutist about anything. I'm going to be open-minded and listen before I criticize.
And every religion has walk a mile in my shoes. You dance in a circle so that you take the place. Oh, Jesus taught, Moses taught, Muhammad taught, everybody taught the same thing about understanding. And there I'm presenting something that we can do locally with our families. And it's about the self and stopping ourselves when we take a position that is untenable, but is only based on hating them, not on the positive. And it's unfortunate that that seems to get attention, but it doesn't have to. It can stop getting our attention. So we need to control ourselves and say, wait a minute, I'm not supporting someone solely because they're against somebody. Let me hear both sides. Let me see what's going on. Let me weigh this, the pros and cons, the pluses and minuses.
Well, I know one pro that I don't have many cons to, and that is your good advice, Rabbi. Thank you as always. Let's all try and keep our hope alive as we go forward through this. It's going to get worse before it gets better.
And benefits versus burdens is something we do all the time. We do it when we buy a recliner. We do it when we buy a car. We do it when we buy groceries. What's the cost? What's the reward? We do benefits, burdens. I'm just asking us to carry that now into the world of politics, into family, and let's kind of weigh things and reach a decision.